My friends, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So I put out on Twitter today that I was going to do a video, and whatever charts got the most request is going to be what I was going to be doing the video on. So this is going to be a quick overall market update, and then I'm going to take specific looks at Apple, Tesla, and then AMC were the most requested charts. If you're new to the channel, first and foremost, thank you. I appreciate you stopping by. Please like and subscribe, all that good stuff. If you're one of my old dogs, been following me for a while, much love. I truly appreciate you. Also, too, nothing I'm giving you guys is financial advice. Everything is to just make you a better trader, so that way you can also learn how to navigate the markets as well. Also, too, I do offer a private Discord group. I'll put the link to join in the description if you want to join. Everything about the Discord is all about education as well. I don't want to sit there and like spoon feed anybody plays. That's not the goal of the Discord. The goal of the Discord is for you to learn how to fish for yourself. So teach you how to do charts and technical analysis, teach you about options, when to buy them, when to sell them, all that good stuff. So if you're interested, you can either DM me on Twitter if you have any questions, or like I said, the link will be in the description. Starting out, let's start out with just kind of an overall market look, just a little bit. So this is going to be the look that everybody and their dog is talking about, okay? You basically got this massive bear trend line, what we've been underneath for a year. We've gotten rejected off of it hard every single time. And then from a bullish standpoint, so I'm a big believer in, tweeted out the other day, talking about, don't just be a bull or don't just be a bear. You got to look at what makes sense for you right now. And you got to be willing to look at it from all angles. So this is going to be the bull case that everybody's talking about, is kind of this inverse head and shoulders that could potentially be playing out. For me personally, I'm not going to be bullish on anything until we start getting over some really key levels. And my buddy Dave Marino Jr. was talking about, like, why right here are you potentially bullish? I mean, everything is getting very tight up in here. You're running into a lot of resistance. You got a lot of support. Everything is getting in a very tight range right here. It's not really smart to be super bullish or bearish right now, as far as I'm concerned. So, I'm definitely going to be looking at, some key levels. We're coming up to a lot of important fibs as well. I tweeted about this one. So if you take a COVID low to the all-time high, this 236 fib has caused a lot of problems, both support and resistance. If you can't see it very well here, I'll just make it a lot bigger. So essentially this blue line right around like 398.50 essentially, but it's acted as support and resistance. So really needs to clear that. It did clear it for a little bit this morning, but then got kicked down afterwards. It's also playing a very similar setup to what we saw play out in the summer. And what I mean by that is, if you do this trend line right here, it kind of made this, reverse J shape before, then getting pushed back down, from here. So we're coming up on earnings seasons for, obviously, a lot of the major companies. Like Netflix is this Thursday, so that is something to keep an eye on. Netflix, to me, little bonus TA real quick. So it's in this rising wedge. The volume's been falling off, and then you had some good selling pressure pick up today on it, which might just be people. It's at key levels, so it might be people taking some profit right here. But you got its macro 0.5 fib. This 332 level is going to be from where it gapped down. Let me just go to the daily so you can see it a little bit better. So Netflix is in a very interesting spot. I mean, it's essentially, really good earnings could really rocket this bad boy. Really bad earnings could really send it down. You got a gap down here around 250, plus you still have, some gaps up here. So, I mean, Netflix is a big mover when it comes to earnings. So that IV is pretty jacked right now. I looked at potentially getting some puts today when it was breaking out of the wedge, but it was just so stinking expensive. So, but anyway, like I said, we're just getting to really key important levels here on SPY. So a move like this wouldn't surprise me, and the inverse head and shoulders playing out also wouldn't surprise me. Now, I am still leaning more bearish than bullish. There's just not been enough data coming out. Yes, inflation is coming down, but I mean, it's still 3 times what is the normal quote-unquote expected rate. So, I mean, inflation is not bullish. It's come down, but it's not bullish. Anybody acting like it's bullish is crazy as far as I'm concerned. So, if we get in here a little bit closer on SPY, and we'll get down here to like the hourly chart, you know, another thing to look at if we go from, you know, just kind of this inverse fib in this range right here, you did get rejected right out of the golden pocket today. And then also too, like if you look at the EMA indicators, like a 921 cross down, you did get a hourly cross down right at the end of the day, and then it looks like also too SPY and after hours, you know, had a pretty decent dump at that point in time. Futures right now pretty much had a double bottom, is pushing up, so you're really going to want to see, yeah, futures is above VWAP right now, so you know, you want to see that double bottom hold right in there. If we look at SPY, even on like a little bit more macro time frames, you know, close below the 9 EMA. So I might just need to come down here, you know, and catch the 21, you know, right around that 394. I do expect there to be some support in that, you know, that 390 to 393 range. So overall, though, like I said, it's very 50-50 right now. I mean, it's you know, we could have a continued push to the upside, and also coming down here and testing, you know, this support trend, you know, makes a lot of sense to me as well. Coming back down here to the 385. If it starts to look bearish, you know, and looks like, yeah, close below the 90. So, I mean, curling over here and basically just kind of rolling over and coming down here somewhere between 385 to like 387 and testing that before making a continued push up. That makes a lot of sense. So this is, like I said, this is why I tweet out, speak in probabilities and not certainties. To me, the most probable thing here right now is we're seeing clear rejections. So at clear rejections, it's probably going to need to come down. I would be willing to bet from this last move that support trend also lines up with a fib. Yeah, I mean, look at this. So your support trend comes over here, lines up with the 618. So if it rolls over here, comes down here to, you know, and touch that 618, which is your most common retracement, and starts to push back up, that's going to make a lot of sense. So obviously, if SPY is not doing well, I don't think other stocks are going to do well. Yes, you'll have those random days that, you know, they're not going to be correlated exactly right along with each other, but if the overall market is ripping, stocks are going to be pumping. The overall market is pulling back, stocks are going to be pulling back with it. So if we come over here to Apple, this kind of 135, 136 range is obviously very important. Kind of same thing as SPY, acted as a lot of support and resistance. I talked about it today. That Apple, let me go down here to the hourly. So Apple was in this rising wedge as well, actually broke out and pushed above, then kind of came back down, looked like it was going to testing the top, and then after hours it came back down. But overall, it's still holding, you know, this support right here. The bearish side of things, though, is this might be a fake out breakout. Apple had its event today, so it might be a little bit of sell the news. People and investors aren't impressed with what's going on. I hate how those trend lines always, you know, change. But the big thing about Apple is you've got that volume that's decreasing as the price has been running. And so, you know, like I said, if I come back here on the daily, you can really see it. Now, the volume came in a little bit here, but overall, you know, this run from 124 to 134 has not really been supported by any volume. So overall, Apple's kind of giving me some bearish vibes. It's got a spinning top on the daily candle, but if it can hold, you know, this support, it looks good. Now, here's a strategy I always like to do with stocks if I'm wanting a different look at it, is flipping the chart upside down. And the reality is right now, what does it look like? Like Apple looks like, okay, it's got its breakout. Now it's pulling back on decreasing volume, and you're going to be looking for a continued move to the upside. But the problem is this chart is inverted. So, you know, if I flip it back around, it looks like very much like Apple could just roll over right here. Unless some volume starts getting into Apple, I'm going to be very bearish in it overall. I mean, this is a very weak volume push back up to key support, and so unless the volume starts coming in and, you know, gets a break, I very much am going to be looking at you know, some pullback. Obviously, they've got earnings. Looks like their earnings isn't until like a couple weeks from now, right at the beginning of February. But if it kind of trades along and chops right up here until earnings, then I definitely think Apple could be due for another leg down. Also, too, there's lots of stocks out there that have come down and, you know, have at least retested. Like, for instance, Amazon. Amazon has actually come down here and double bottomed off its COVID lows. Apple is still, you know, the tech is in this sector right here is still pushed up a little too high, in my opinion. And so I do think Apple could come all the way back down to 80 potentially. Now, if the bottom's in for the overall market, Apple's bottom is in. It's not going to come down. You know, Apple plays a huge part, you know, SPY, and so it's if the overall market is going to keep ripping, so will Apple. But overall, Apple to me is giving me some very bearish looks, volume pushes, things of that nature. Tesla, I tweeted this one out today. There's a great opportunity to enter some calls. A bunch of people in my Discord enter calls and made great money on it. So congratulations if you listened. And the reason is because Tesla has been in this supply zone and was really needing to get over kind of that 124.50 range. Is pretty much what I had mapped out. And I mean, you can see how it got over that pre-market and essentially used it as support, and then you got a real nice push up. And so Tesla is looking good overall. The volume has been supporting this move. You had volume increases as this push up has happened. You closed above the 21-day moving average as well. So it looks like Tesla is going to want continued upside once again on kind of the more, you know, macro picture a little bit. So, but this is one of those setups that, like I said, I was tweeting about, like, just learn to memorize these type of setups. NVIDIA was another one. Look, it did get below VWAP, but overall curled out and broke up and pretty much closed the day at its market high. So, you know, looking to enter right here, you look at that break. If you entered right here when NVIDIA was right around like 174, you would have gotten a nice, you know, 2-point, almost 3-point push by the end of the day. Would have been a great call scalp. I personally did not play this one because I was paying attention to Amazon puts, entered in right here, this VWAP test. So played the initial breakdown of VWAP, entered in on the VWAP test, double dipped on Amazon today for really nice profits. So, but like I said, sorry, you guys know me, I can get off topic sometimes. So, but like I said, just learn how to see these type of setups, and I promise you, your trading is going to go much better. Learn how to, you know, draw out supply and demand. Learn how to use your EMAs. Learn how to use, you know, all the indicators. And like I always say, when it comes to TA, it's all pieces of the puzzle. And the more pieces of the puzzle you can put together, the better the picture is going to look. And every trade is going to have some pros and cons looks to it. But overall, if your cons, you know, by far and away outweigh your your pros by far and away outweigh your cons, then it's a good risk as far as you know, trading the setup, and just manage your risk. Okay. AMC, last one we'll talk about today. So AMC is, you know, pretty much catching its bottom, you know, from where the buy button was taken away. I told everybody, you know, plan on, you know, worst case scenario coming down here to this 786. It didn't quite get that low. It got down to about 350, I think was around its lowest point, like 368. And now you're getting a good push out of here. So on the micro, I tweeted about this, how AMC was in this symmetrical triangle. It was also catching a supply zone right here before this previous run up to $9. Got halted at the 200 SMA, and then which SMA is a simple moving average, and then got the nice push down. So now you're basically got a rounded out bottom, which is typically what you want to see going through accumulation. So whether you look at this as, this was a cup and handle, all of that I can get behind all of those different types of looks. So right here, you had the symmetrical triangle, and the nice thing about this is this move out of the supply range was supported by volume today. Shout out to my buddy Bronx Viking in my Discord. Is an excellent trader, makes a lot of great call outs. Come trade with him if you want. But he was talking about how AMC was seeing a lot of $10 puts rolled today. And when you see those puts get rolled out, essentially think of it, trying to keep this as simple as possible for a lot of you guys. I know you're my crayon eating friends, but think of all the puts that are on AMC is essentially holding it down, and when those puts get rolled out, then you have the potential to really see some good upside moves in it. And so anytime you see all those big puts getting rolled out, typically that's when you're going to see a lot of volatility and upside and AMC, and that's essentially what is going on today. So right now in after hours, what you'd be looking for is, this is essentially AMC likes to break out of these ascending triangles, where it's basically you got flat top resistance followed by rising support. So you'd want to see a breakout of here and then continued movement. Now that's the good news. The bad news is there is going to be a lot of resistance. I said if AMC can break out of this supply zone range, then a push to the 0.5 up here right around 745 is going to be what you want to see. Now, I doubt it's going to break right through this area, because this was, heavy, consolidation back here in that November and December timeframe before it, pushed out and it got halted. If you are in options when it comes to AMC, be careful about halts. Halts typically signal the ends of runs on AMC. So once again, this is talking about options. This is not talking about shares. This is not, I had some dude accusing me, he's trying to stop a squeeze. What a moron. But anyway, so, a halt on AMC, got halted here, into the run. Got halted back here, into the run. Got halted right here, into the run. So especially if you're in options where they can turn to dust, you can lose everything. Be very careful. But overall, AMC does look good on the daily. And as you can see, this run was, supported by volume. But also back here, this run right here, whenever it was supported by volume, but then got halted, and that was it. Got a little bit higher again, but then got pushed back down. So like I said, just be careful. Like I said, especially if you are doing the option game. I could care less what you do with your shares. All right. Yeah, I think that's pretty much going to be everything. Yeah, so like I said, AMC, if the overall market can continue to see upside, AMC looks good for upside. If it needs to cool off a little bit, that's what I was going to show. So a lot of these RSIs are starting to get pretty hot on AMC. And, I do not care when people say things like, oh, it doesn't matter, RSIs don't matter in a squeeze play. Okay, because it's just not true. Once again, numbers don't lie, people do. So, for instance, look at like the 4-hour RSI right now. It's basically going into tomorrow is going to be sitting right around 87. So here's both the January and the June runs topped out right there, right around 94. Okay, the March run topped out exactly where we are. The August run, before the APE release, topped out pretty much right around where we are. So, like I said, it's just facts, okay? Like, you can argue whatever you want, but that is literally just facts. That's when, a lot of these runs can come to an end. So just be careful about, your phone. Once again, if you're playing the long-term game with shares, it's not the end of the world. You're going to see pullback from here, I would imagine, but it's if you believe in the play, it's not a bad time to average down. I'm not Okay, personally, I am not averaging down, right now, or averaging anything. I'm not buying anything till I see what's going to happen with all this reverse split and ape stuff. And like I said, just want to see how all that is going to unfold. So, but that's just, like I said, it's just my honest opinion, and it's what the chart is showing you. And I don't trade my feelings. I trade what I believe I can prove, and what I've proven, I feel like, over and over and over and over again through technical analysis. It's just my opinion, okay? Do what you want with the information. That's going to be everything for this video. Once again, thank you so much. Please like and subscribe. Put a comment out there. If you have any questions, like I said, shoot me a DM on Twitter. If you want to join the Discord, we would love to have you. A lot of great, awesome people that are just, like I said, helping each other navigate the markets. It's all about education. Want you to identify great setups. Do what is best for yourself, your family, and your portfolio. Much love, my friends. I will see you in the next video. Have a good one.